Hey there, this is the second video for my Death Note vlog, and today we're going to be talking about Mello because it's Mello's birthday, December 13th. It's also my brother's birthday, which is really cool. Unfortunately, he hasn't gotten very far in the series, so he actually doesn't know who Mello is. Doesn't understand how awesome he has it, sharing a birthday with him. But anyway, that is just me rambling. So I just thought I'd talk about Mello since it's his birthday. Makes sense. Mello is my second favorite Death Note character, second only to L, so that's pretty good, I would say, because there are a lot of characters in Death Note, and he's definitely my second favorite. I roleplay Mello online, and I'm planning to cosplay him at some point in the future. I don't really know when that will happen, but hopefully soon. Mello is in the manga and the anime for Death Note, and he's in the anime specials also. Unfortunately, they left him out of the live-action Japanese films, which really stunk, because it just did. Because Mello's awesome, and they completely changed the storyline after a certain point. But they're still good movies, but I just wish Mello had been included. Nier is in the third one, but Mello is absent. I don't really know why that is. Mello's name. A lot of people ask me about Mello's name, if it means anything, because his real name is Mihael Keehl, and Mello is his fake name, like Nier's real name is Nate River, and L's real name is Bayet, so it makes sense that he has a fake name too, and his is Mello. And Sugumi Oba, who wrote the manga, he said Mello doesn't really stand for anything. It doesn't have anything to do with anything. But personally, I don't really see how that's possible. I think it's almost kind of an ironic name because Mello is so emotional and he's really high-strung, and I think Mello is almost kind of like ironic. It's kind of funny because he is anything but mellow, and his name is Mello. I just thought that was hilarious. So I would disagree on that. I think Mello's name does stand for something. When they were creating the characters of Mello and Nier, Oba wanted to make Mello a little L-ish. And he does look a little bit like L. Mello does have the same posture as L does. He kind of slouches, and he has black eyes and like the panda eyes. He also has an obsession with chocolate. Similar to L's obsession with sweets in general. Mello was originally supposed to be the character who's going to defeat Kira, which I thought would have been amazing, but they decided to not do that. Oba and Obata, the creators of Death Note, decided not to because Mello was finding out too much about the Death Note as they were coming up with the story, and so they decided it just wouldn't work. And I don't want to spoil anything for anybody who has not watched the entire anime or read the entire manga, so I won't say anything further of reasons of why that can't happen. But they decided that wasn't going to work. So that was a disappointment to me when I found out about that, because I think it would have been awesome to have Mello confronting Kira. But whatever, it was still, the ending is still good. Mello is definitely my favorite character. Like I mentioned before, besides L, obviously. L is number one, but Mello is still really awesome. And I really think that he was a great addition to the story. Once he got to a little bit over halfway mark, he was introduced along with Nier. And I think that was a great decision. I wish that Mello had been there more than he was. But for when he was in there, he was a really great character along with Nier. Mello has some good and bad points. His good points, I would definitely say, are that he's really smart. I mean, he's not as smart as L. I would definitely say he's not. But he is extremely intelligent. He was the second runners-up to become the next L, along with Nier. They were tied at the orphanage where they were staying. Other good things about Mello are that he is really emotional, but he uses it to his advantage. He is impulsive, he acts, whereas Nier almost verges on inactivity at certain points. He's just kind of sitting there. If he didn't have somebody pushing him or moving him along, he probably wouldn't do anything at all. I really like Mello's friendship with Matt a lot. I think that even though it wasn't really expanded upon in the series, I think it really gave him a sense of being a human being. Like, he had a lot more time to be explored. His character was really explored. But Nier and Mello only come in for the last act. So I feel like Nier seemed a bit less human and a bit more robotic to me. Just because he didn't have any relationships with any other people. While Mello has Matt, his best friend, and it's obvious that he must be able to be around people. He must have some good things about him to have a best friend who would be willing to put himself out there like Matt does. Another thing I want to talk about is the alleged relationship between Matt and Mello. I really don't agree with that. They're just friends. There's nothing ever said in the series that says they're anything more than that. Mello doesn't have a relationship with anybody else romantically, and neither does Matt, but that doesn't mean that it's because they're together. It's because that was irrelevant to the story. It wasn't important. And the creators didn't want to spend time making them have girlfriends and stuff when there was a criminal to be caught. I mean, it just didn't make any sense. It was not important. So I really disagree about Matt and Mello being together. I think that Mello would have found a girlfriend if he had had an opportunity to, but I don't think that he and Matt were together, and that was why he didn't have one. Bad things about Mello, I have to say, there are some things that are not good about Mello. He can be a little bit too impulsive. He does some things that I think if he could go back, he probably wouldn't be proud of them. The way that he treats Sayu Yagami is not good. He is not good to Soichiro Yagami either, as people who finished the anime know, but I don't want to spoil anything, because it would ruin it if I was blabbing about what's already happened. Although I'm assuming probably most people watching this have already watched or read the entire series, but whatever. Just to be on the safe side. So you people who have finished, you know what I'm talking about. But I feel like he did feel like he was doing what was best. And I think he would have felt bad about it later. And he didn't really know either of them either. And I think he might have thought that they were incompetent. I also think he should not have joined the Mafia. That was a bad move. I can see exactly what he was thinking. Well, he needed henchmen to help him to look for Kira and get the notebook before Nier did. But at the same time, he probably should have found some people who are a bit more honest, especially because he was working on the side of the wall. Mello is also a very charismatic character. He obviously must have been, because he did have friends, and he was able to convince all the people in the Mafia to help him in the first place. A lot of people seem to think that he's just this really rude person, and I do not agree with that. He must have some charisma, and I think he does because he's so into everything. He's really just emotional, and he really says what he's thinking. So I think that he is charismatic. Another thing I want to talk about is Mello role players. This is where I'm just going to rant for a second about my pet peeve about Mello role players. I'm a Mello role player, so I know exactly what I'm talking about. People who are role-playing Mello or role-play about Mello always seem to make him have a dirty mouth. I don't understand that, honestly. He curses a handful of times in the series, and that's it. But online role players make him drop a curse word every other sentence, and I don't really understand where they're getting that from. Yes, he was a tough guy, but he didn't curse. Don't make him go out of character. Another thing Mello role players do is they're very rude to other role players, or just fans who are trying to talk to the character. It irritates me. Because Mello is not, he can be rude. Mello can be rude. But he is not so rude that he drives everyone away. He has friends. Like I said, he must be charismatic if he was able to get the Mafia on his side. And he even apologizes when he does stuff that's wrong. When he's confronting Soichiro Yagami, he apologizes. When Matt gets into a bad situation later in the anime and the manga, he apologizes. He isn't some jerk. And that's going to make people dislike his character a lot if you're always going around and being rude. Another thing about Mello role players that irritates me is the way that they always evade questions. Whenever anybody asks them a question, they always just respond with another question, like, I don't have to answer to you, or whatever. And I'm just like, really? I think that if you don't answer a Mello roleplay question, it's because you don't know the character well enough to respond in a way that you think he would. One Mello roleplayer I saw got a question that asked if Mello had to choose between his friendship with Matt or beating Nier and becoming the new L, which would he pick? And the Mello role player was just like, you're such an idiot, I don't have to pick either of them, whatever. And I just was like, they're just asking a legit question. If you're going to be role-playing Mello, you need to expect that people are going to be talking to you. And that irritated me. Later on, I got a chance to talk with the same role player, and I was asked the same question. And I did give a legit answer, because I feel like I have a lot in common with Mello, and when I role-play him, I'm acting. And so the actor needs to know exactly how their characters would respond. And if you're setting up a roleplay account, you're going to have to expect that people are going to ask you difficult questions. You have to be ready to answer them. So I gave a legit answer. And that irritates me when people who are role-playing Mello online are just jerks. Another thing that I want to talk about that's a pet peeve with me and Mello is Mello merchandise. Where the heck is it? There isn't really much Mello merchandise. With Nier, we get a Nier wall scroll. We get Nier finger puppets. And with Mello, we get a wall scroll. And that's it. There is nothing else. Why is there no more Mello merchandise? Of course there's going to be more for Light and Misa and Ryuk and L, of course, because they're the main characters. But Mello is also an important character, and I'm just wondering why he gets nothing. And Mello is also a very popular character, at least he seems to be online with fans. They seem to really like him a lot. And cosplayers love cosplaying as Mello. The last convention I went to, I saw at least one Mello cosplayer. That's the end of my Mello rant for right now. And that's really the end of this blog also, because I have to try to keep it under the limit. Thanks for watching. I'll be posting a new blog really soon. When they were creating the characters of Mello and Nier, Oba wanted to make Mello a little Ella. And he does look a little bit like Ella. He has the same posture as Ella, kind of slouches. Okay, let me try that again. Mello is my favorite. The second. That was a fail. Okay, starting to run it. Mello is my favorite. I cannot believe I can't talk today. Okay, let's try that. Let me see this again. What was I going to talk about? I can't believe it.